Thank you very much, Ines, for the introduction here by the end again. And yeah, also from my side, hello to everybody here in this call. And yeah, I'm happy to give you some information about France's new e-invoicing mandate, what starts in next year, hopefully. We don't know it. But a little bit to myself, my name is Andreas Killinger. I'm at SEEBURGER now 12 years. And I'm, more or less 12 years was the start of the e-invoicing topics. And this is my job, product manager for globally invoicing, VIDA, data declaration, text declaration, and SAP as well. Before I start with France, I will give you some information what is SEEBURGER, or from my side, what we are doing. I'm not a specialist for document types in any XML structure. This is project, this is consulting work. My work is actually to be involved in a lot of memberships, or to be on stage, to be on congresses, to be on finance ministers and so on, to keep them updated and so on. We are working off the FAIRT member. This is for the German format. This is the Zugpferd format in this case, what is actually in parallel with Factor X in France. I am also active GINA member. GINA member is important for the interoperability. It's important for the France mandate. It is everything what is connected with other service provider, or what is going outside of Europe, and so on. VR member, it's actually my strongest part where I am in. This is the Association of Electronical Invoice. This is not real letters, but this is translation. I am active member since 7 or 8 years, and we are doing here workshops in international formats. What means we meet some service providers, sit together and analyze any formats or any mandates and so on. We're also leading VIDA workshops, reporting system, what comes up in all 27 EU countries soon before VIDA will start, and so on. That's the next one. The IDST is for the German part, for the declaration of the e-reporting in the German mandate. Exchange Summit are the worldwide congresses. It's in Europe, it's in Asia, it's in Germany. This is the E-Rechnungsgipfel, and it will be in the United States. I am normally there as well, with some presentations, with some round labels, with some podiums discussions, and so on. We are also PEPAL owner. We have an own PEPAL access point. I'm partly in the PEPAL community, and so on and so on. You see, we have a lot of things what we try to influence a little bit the e-invoicing market, and hopefully I can see you in one of these events somewhere. I'm looking forward to do that, or I hope that we can meet there. We don't know it. Okay, this is the agenda. France B2B in general for mandate. What does the reform included? What is the work of the PDPs? Data flow and processes. What is the effect? Have to consider now. I think this is the point number 5. I will get a little bit, I try to get to explain a little in your head where the pressure is right now for all the customers or for all the companies, and then what can we do for you. Before I go to France, I do it in all my presentations before we really start with France. I give you a small information. I don't go so deep as I do a normal globally invoicing meter expert. Here, once again, this is what is coming up. France is not the only country here in the EU. We have a lot of other countries as well. You can see in 27 or in 26, it starts extremely with other countries as well. And currently there are a lot of EU countries or states or whatever. They did not mention anything, like Portugal, like Netherlands, like Luxembourg, like Sweden, like Romania, like Bulgaria, and so on and so on. But this is just the information, and think about this. Today is 21st May, so it can change by tomorrow again. Nobody knows. I had already 1 changes this week, and changes I get every week. So, but now let us really start with the B2B France e-invoicing mandate. It is in general information what I will give you. I'm not going too deep in the structure. I try to explain you the process, what is really behind, because it's not just sending an invoice from one service provider to the next. There is a little bit more to do in this case, also for you as a customer. So, electronic B2B invoicing in France. What is behind? Or let me start first with the picture. Last week was a big congress in Paris. It was May 13 or 13 May, with around about 2,000 attendees, and SEEBURGER was also there. We were present with a desk with 4 other colleagues, and I was really surprised how deep or how other people are interested on the current mandate or the upcoming mandate for France. It was interesting how many people come to us and ask for any information. Okay, this was just beside. Yeah, here the standard for sure. Electronic B2B invoicing. Yeah, what does it mean? It will start in 26 and it's continue in 27. And who has to do anything is for all B2B domestic inside, but it's not written here. It's going a little bit more, but this is, I will explain it later. It is important for all VAT registered companies in France for the year 26 and 27. Here in this process or the mandates, and doesn't include any transfer via email or by email or anything else. Or sorry, there is or by mail. What means this is an envelope with a stamp on it, or per email. This is stopped, or this will be stopped in 1st of September next year. But you must look soon for a partner, for a PDP partner, because in France it's just allowed to use the transfers of the invoice, just allowed to use this together or to do this together with a PDP service provider. You should look for that, and we can also do it from SEEBURGER side in the nearest future. We are ready. So you cannot do anything without PDP service provider. You cannot do it by alone. This is impossible. Yes, there's a lot of invoice data because we have already 4 million companies in France. They have to do anything by latest by end of 27. And the good thing is, what I will explain later, is including cross-border B2B invoices and B2C transactions. B2C is not SEEBURGER's world so much, but international B2B or cross-border B2B, we can also name it BI2B or BI2BI, anything like that. So cross-border is here also a very important topic here. Maybe some companies have already to do with Italy. They have a similar, similar process with cross-border invoices, and France continue this as well. But let me go a little bit back in the entire history. France switched to a 5-corner model. Before we was a little bit a Y model. So, and October 15 was a big date for us, for all service providers. So France decided to go another way, and another way is not to use any ODs. ODs was the service provider. They are planned to use just in standard formats like CII, UBL, Factor X. Then was OD possible to use, or the other option, the OD way, was usable for the PPF for small companies, so it was for free. This way is died on October 15, because the PPF was not able to to put the technical possibility for the free version on the PPF platform. That's why it's one reason that they changed it. So the original plan was to give companies the choice of using either free portal PPF option, so for the small companies, this is not available anymore, or a partner, a PDP partner for the exchange of the invoices. So what means by the end, every company, it's maybe 5 persons on it, must make a decision what kind of PDP they are going to use in the yeah, in the next 15 months. It's really just 15, 16 months, so that I will start. So this was the plan. It was the original announcement by the French government by October 15 last year. For SEEBURGER, it was a little bit a surprisement because we were planned to use just the OD because we wanted to force our customer keep in standard and because it's cheaper and don't go the expensive way to use specific formats like, I don't know, 85D, 96A and so on. Okay, the process, this was the process before. Here's the PPF. This is the platform for France to the receiving platform. And here are the sender and the recipient and so on. So this way died. So what means for the standard way, Factor X, UBL, CII was usable to use OD or the free version for customers with less employees and so on. This died. And here it was possible also to use an OD connected with PDP or go straight to the PDP version. This was the process until October 15. You see now there's not so many. This way died. There is no cheap or there is no version without money anymore. You cannot touch straight PPF anymore. You have to select a PDP or you have to select an OD if there one, but the OD must be connected with a PDP. And yeah, you have heard it sometimes with a white label partnership, for example. So these options are possible, but more or less, this is more or less in the background. This is not an official statement. OD actually is not available, but maybe you have already a provider and you do a lot of work with a service provider. You could continue with the service provider as an OD name, but you must keep sure that that this OD has a relationship to. This is the option. You see, once again, this one gone. Now we have only this way. So here the timeline. I don't need a timeline when you have to start. This is the current timeline of the go live. 24 February is already gone. There was the pilot project for the PDP connection and so on with beta candidates, testing the directory begins and so on. And this was a directory. I come later back what that means, what is behind the directory. March to May, I'm not sure it is already approved. PDPs can participate to the pilot project for testing directories connection. This is more or less the next step after the February. I'm not sure that all the test candidates were successful. SEEBURGER was not involved in this moment. May 13 was the same day as the event was last week in France, where I was in Paris. We get the publications of the invoice formats on profiles by the AFNOR Standard Committee. So this is not really important for you as a customer. Sure, a little bit. This is more or less the most important informations for us as a service provider, what formats we use, what profiles, and so on. It's a little bit more than just these two words. It is a longer technical documentation. End of May, guidance on a B2B use cases, rejected transaction, RP standardization. Not 100% what is the reason. I will see what we get maybe next week, or it will be in June, and so on and so on. The June PDPs transition to the directory service, including consultation. So then we'll start to get to connect the directory, and what the directory means, I will explain it in another slide. So October 13, I'm not sure it will be October 13, testing by selected companies with the PDP test connectivity. So PDPs will work together, maybe like the incubation project in this case. And then interoperability testing the last quarter in this year here for all registered PDPs. I'm excited at this quarter to see what happened. February 9, testing of the complete functionality with a sandbox of the PPF, sorry, not PFF, it's written wrong, PPF, yeah, including with PDP invoice exchange testing. And then middle of next year will be the publish of the PDP certification list, and yeah, we will see, is the timeline in line, or is this on time, or will it change? It's changing quite often, so this is maybe not really, yeah, written in stone, what we say in German. It might be changed, yeah, sometimes it will be so. So this is the first time of the timeline. The second time of the timeline is really, yeah, for you as a company to start. We have 4 million companies in France, sorry. This is a lot of, so we will start 1st of September with 8,300 companies because of large and medium size. In the past was planned to have 3 phases. There was large and medium size, so far I know was separated. Now we have just 2 phases. You must know in which area you are. I think the everything is written down here, and you must see where you will find you. But I think the bigger one, and this is a small, medium-sized companies, will be 150,000. This is a lot of, and the micro is 3.8 million. So what means all the flower shop, all the pizza stores, and everything what is behind, yeah, they have to start in 27. So I have by the end another slide what means, what the figure means for all of us for service provider. But let me come by the end to this. One last statement here is, so when you see you are on the September 27 side, but you get anybody from the September 26 side, so what means the big companies will send you an invoice and you are actually not affected, then you will be affected, because you must be prepared to receive, or not to receive, or to accept. So this is the timeline. I can imagine it's will sense, or yeah, we will see. So the PDP's commitments. Yeah, it is not so easy to get this, to start in France with to be with as a service provider. Now you have to do a lot of things. This is a long way. Sorry, you have a long way, and you have a lot of things to deliver in French language with yeah, a lot of paperwork specifications. So in order to make the government happy, this is a process what is not finished in 2-3 months. It is a process what runs a half year, 3/4 years. This is, yeah, it's depend on, yeah. And there are also some other points here. The technical approval by French will take place by end of 25. So what means if you see anybody off the list, they are maybe registered, but they are not, maybe not finally approved. So there might be some changes. I consider the list sometimes, and I saw service provider, they were on the list, and now they are on the list not anymore. I don't know what happened in this case. Yeah, we will see. So in second one, the registration process, it's not finished by end of this. If anybody found a new service provider company, you can also apply for a PDP provider in the future as well. So we have currently around about 85-90 PDP provider, and the government expect, yeah, between 100 and 100 PDPs. So the last one, yeah, what are the features? What must the service provider be, yeah, do, or to be a service provider? What the features you must, obligation things to do is now on the next list. What must the PDP do be able to achieve? So for sure the standard, okay, sending electronic invoice to the customer PDP. Okay, you must be able to send from one service provider to the next, but there are some steps down, and this is directory between. I'll come later to this. And then for sure, sending and receiving, you must do, you cannot say as a service provider, oh, I'm just sending, I'm not receiving. This is not my part. You must be both.
you must be able to support for the 3 standard formats. You cannot say, oh, I do everything, but not UBL CAI factor X. It's not the solution in this case. You must be able to the life cycle of the invoicing flows pro. I will get deeper in this information in the next slide, what that means. And there must be compliance check of all documents and data exchange. So you cannot say, okay, I take the data and send it. See what you will see what happened. You have to do checks so that the data are really good. So connection and interoperability with all other PDPs. So you must have all the adapters to get in contact with the recipients, with the PDP of the recipients. There could be anything. It could be a GINA agreement. It could be PayPal. Yeah, you must have the toolbox to get in touch with the other PDPs. And then the most important thing is also to connect with PPF. So PPF, do not forget, this is the recipient place where you send all the information, like the invoice data stream, like the e-reporting lifecycle, everything goes to PPF. Not sure they can handle that, but this is the law. Then extraction and transmission of data required by the state. This is coming later back to the next slides. Then recovering and management directory data. This is also a part. The directory, it's not official visible as now, like from PayPal. There is an official yellow phone book, for example, and I can find my partner. The directory is placed on the government area of France, on the PPF side. You need authentication secured. Yeah, you cannot say, oh, no, just a link and then do a PIN code in it and so on. No, they don't want this. Certification ISO 27001. This is also very important. You have maybe a lot of service provider has a lot of locations, maybe 3 or 4 around the world, but not all locations has a certification according ISO 27001. This can be different. You have to take care where you are registered. And then secured hosting in-house of or under the Secnum cloud standard. I think Secnum you have quite often. Difference is that if you have a cloud by your own, then it's okay. You're hosting your own cloud center. Or you are a third party host your cloud, then you need the Secnum cloud for this guy, the Secnum ID for the cloud. So there is a little bit more, but this is the most important things for service provider has to get or they have to approve that they can do that before they get a PDP. So what includes actually in this mandate? I go now step by step, and later I will show you this also in the picture. We have 4 steps. You see it on the right side. There is in French written legend in this case. This is a small screenshot from the original French documents. And you see there is the e-invoicing flow, there is the e-reporting flow, there is the lifecycle flow, and there is the directory flow. So invoicing flow is more or less, what we do with all other countries as well, for sure. It's domestic B2B invoices goes from one direction to the next. In this case, this is the PDP transfer from one to the next. And a so-called structured format. This is what I already told you. There are a lot of format. It should be according EN 6931. And yes, and the UBL format could be either in both format like the format could be in UBL format, in CII format. Both is XML based, or you can use the hybrid factor X format in CII formats version. So with a PDF in the front, and attached as an attachment is the factor X XML structure. So for the readable version, you have the PDF. For the machine readable version, you have the XML attached. Yeah. So then in the last one, when the service provider receive your data in
and then we convert it in the form of what is required. We have to send an invoicing data flow or an invoice data flow to the government, to the PPF platform. You will see it later, how it looks like. So life cycle flow. Life cycle flow, yeah, it's very important. The government would like to have all informations in real time. What is the status of your invoice? So in this case, you receive an invoice, you must get feedback to the service provider, and the service provider must bring the feedback to the PPF platform. So is there an invoice change? Is there a cancellation? Is there a correction or whatever? All these are lifecycle informations, and all these lifecycle informations would like to know the PPF platform as well. So for them, it's important, what is the status of the invoice? Is this really booked? Is this canceled? Once again, is this a really big process? And this is a part for the company, because you must give the service providers or the PDPs, you must give them any informations, all the informations, what happened with the sorry, with all the informations, what you did with the invoice. Did you pay the invoice? Did you book the invoice? And so on and so on. And the service providers must give these lifecycle flow or these lifecycle information also forwarded this to the PPF platform. This is a very complex process in this case. Lifecycle flow. There are some more information roundabout. These are 8 life cycle parts. This is not written here. Everything received, approved, distributed, rejected. You have 8 of these, but this we will explain and also in some projects and so on. E-reporting flows. This is similar like countries like Hungary or like Spain, like we name it business to tax. We are sending just some e-reporting data, but yes, similar. But in reality, is the France government is very interesting to get all the informations. If invoices leaves France, so you send maybe from a France location an invoice to Germany or to Italy, or you get from Austria or from Sweden, you get an invoice into France or to France. So the government would like to have information. The PPF platform would like to have the information. So what means you as a company, you must give us the informations to the service provider, and the service provider must transfer it to the PPF platform. Yes, I will show later later how it looks like in a graphic, and how it looks like. Directory flows. It's maybe not so complex, but the directory, I told you already, this is the phone book. The phone book is important to find your PDP partner. Where, or not the PDP partner, where is the recipient, at what PDP is your recipient? This is important. You cannot send it straight to them. You have the PDP, and the PDP have to check where is the recipient PDP, because there is the recipients. It is not like PEPAL, as you know. Maybe there is a yellow phone book, a partner directory. You get in there, or it's hosted by the service provider. You get in there, grab the data, and send it. Now here in France, it is located on the PPF platform. So, and what means we need the information? Is there a new partner? Is there a new customer? Is there new information? Then the service provider, the PDPs, have to update the directory database so that we can find for the next traffic the right connection or the right invoice recipient. Let us get a little bit in detail. This is the entire CTC process 5-corner flow here in France. You see on the left side the invoicing flow lifecycle, e-reporting, directory. Let me do this in 4 single slides to for you better to understand. So yeah, before I get in, this is a description of all the different flows here. We have round about 14. You will find the figures later on the single slides again. So that you know there are 14 flows of 14 different kind of flows, what you have to do, or what service provider has to do for the B2B mandate. I don't know why number 5 and 4 it's not linked to the mandate, to the reform. That's mean you will not find 4 and 5 in the next slides. Invoicing flow. This is a quiet simple flow. So this is the standard what we know from other countries. We will get so we will get the invoices or the data from you in any kind of standard. This could be the standard formats UBL, factor X, or it could be other formats like UBL CI factor X. This is doesn't matter. For we receive it, we will send it to the other PDP, and then the invoice goes further to the buyer. So our part is this number 1 later to take the invoicing data stream to PPF. So we have to take the data out, and then we have to move it to send it to the PPF. This is, yeah, you see we have with 1 invoices, we have 2 things to do. First, the transfer, the mapping and everything, and the second one also give PPF the informations for the invoicing, for the standard e-invoice process flow. You see it, standard. The next slide is the life cycle flow. I mentioned it already. France is interesting of the entire e-invoicing process, not only from transfer from one PDP to the next PDP. Here is important that you give us the informations. For example, when you receive here an invoice and you do not approve, they say, oh, this invoice is not correct. I call them and I will not approve. I need a change, or and it's a cancellation, anything. We need this information back. Doesn't matter in what format. We will send this information also to the other PDPs, because this supplier would like to know that you don't accept this. So what means it goes in this the way back, for example, I changed it maybe, or it sends a new update or anything, it should go back and give you also the information. And finally, the PDPs, we have to inform the PPF what currently happened with the invoice. Is it approved? Is it paid? Is it accepted? Or whatever. We have 8 different kind of life cycle flows to cover. And here is on your side also, you must change or adjust your ERP system so that automatically comes all the required information out to us, so that we can forward it to the PPF platform. So that means you have not only the data extract from in any of your in-house formats, you have also delivered these lifecycle informations to us, or to our service provider, and then we go in a special format and we'll send it to PPF. Next one is the e-reporting flow. Here I changed a little bit because yeah, e-reporting or BI to BI means business international to business to business international, BI to BI, business international to business international. Here, France would like to know all the invoices cross-border. We know it maybe from cross-border. Would like to have all the information. Comes an invoice maybe from Germany, or it goes out from France to a place in Italy. I don't know. And then it must not handled via a PDP, then it's not a PDP in this case. It can be also from another provider that you receive invoices from a PDP, from Italy or from Germany or whatever. So then we need for sure sorry, the e-report data from your side, from another country. You have to let us know the e-reports. So, and then we have to do in a special format, then we have to transfer your e-reporting data to the PPF platform as well. Once again, you can also say it is cross-border e-reporting. It is not domestic reporting, it is cross-border e-reporting. So you must be aware of this, that we need all the information when you get invoices inside of the European community, and we have 27 states, that we must give the PPF these informations. So that means you must think about also to adjust your system in this case. The last one is the directory flow. So directory flow, sorry, means the directory, the phone book, once again, is not here at the PDPs or it's somewhere in the internet. The PPF directory is located on the PPF. So what means? The service provider must update all the time, or must update the database of the directory for any new informations. All the PDPs must check first in the directory where is the recipient of this buyer, who is the PDP service provider of this buyer. We need the information. There is the buyer is maybe another service provider, or maybe it's SEEBURGER, nobody knows. And then we can send it over. So actually, directory process is before the invoice flow in order to get all the information. So is there any new partners? Is there any, I don't know, changes, address, anything, whatever? We need to know this informations from more or less from the buyer, so that we can put it over to the PPF platform, that when the next invoice goes out, that we can check who is the final recipient. So once again, you have the invoicing flow, e-reporting flow, life cycle flow, and by the end, so you have the directory flow. It doesn't influence you so much because it's handling the PDPs, but we don't know, is there a new partner in your system, a new buyer, a new supplier? We don't know that. You must give us the information. Okay, now we are close to the next last two slides. What to do this effect, how to consider now. These are sentences what I got from from some customers. We are doing pre-sales meetings. I think after at least after 2021 or from 2021, and still anybody anytime we continue with pre-selling of France, because they, as you know, they postpone all the time the mandate. Hopefully they will leave it now and do not postpone it further to end of 27, maybe a third for roundabout. I think it is 1 month ago that beginning of April, that the French government had an announcement to postpone maybe until September, December 27 and 28. So, but this information was killed, I think, within 1 week. Okay. I'm ready to receive and send invoice in formats such as PayPal or Factor X by September 1st. So what means, do you have already a business partner, a service provider with a PayPal access point? And have you ever worked with PayPal? Is your recipient in PayPal or whatever? All these things is, or do you have an interoperability agreement with anybody? All these things about what you have, what should be in your mind. I'm already able to process invoices. Is your booking or your outgoing system, your EP system, already ready to send any in-house data out to our service provider? I have a lot of customers, they do it with Excel, and then they put it in a Word document and later in a PDF. You should also think about there are any other formats what you like to work, maybe EDIFACT, but it should be based on EN69 is RE1. So, and then you can again go further. Is my ERP system able to do the life cycle status? Is my ERP system ready to do the e-reporting? Did you already decide to use a PDP provider? You should not too long because time is ticking, and we have 4 million customers to cover or companies in the next month. The next one is, would you like to use multiple PDP providers? Could be possible. Then you should also not wait so long. Am I affected by B2C, or is it just B2B? And if you are working already with a provider, with an OD provider, then you should really ask, is this OD provider ready to connect to a PDP provider? They have a relationship? But because you remember, OD cannot be as a standalone. So, and this is the last one, and this is also, I created this in the morning, and because I have think about what that means actually for us, service provider. We are currently around about 50, 85, 90 service provider. They can do it, I would say. So we have to phase one. So approximately 8,300 companies are affected to get in start. Yeah, just one figure. This is just a small calculation. So that means if all service provider, everybody has to do around about 100 projects. Maybe one more, maybe one less, depend on how many employees are working on this service provider. We are bigger ones. Maybe someone has just 5 consultants or whatever. So when you think about assuming at least 15 working days, but this is at least for the project in France. This will be more at the beginning. So that would be 1,500 working days per every service provider. So you know what that means? This is okay, this is a small figure, but when we go a step further to phase number 7, September 27, then we have 150,000 companies. They are looking for a PDP provider solution. So this would be for each service provider around about 1,750 projects. So when you go also with 15 working days, would be 26,250 working days. And we have currently some months to get it, to realize that. Okay, so, and then we didn't talk about the other 3 million micro enterprises. They are also required a PDP. Think about what that means for all of us. The government didn't think about that. That is a lot of work to do that. And then more or less, yeah, what should I say? We have 20 additional other EU countries still not implement the requirements by the EU for 2028. So how can SEEBURGER support you? This will be the last slide. I get all the time the question, are you doing already invoicing? Yes, we are. SEEBURGER will celebrate 40 years next year. We are birthday in 2026. 40 years. It's for a service provider currently is a really old and expired, and with EDI we starts and so on and so on. And 2014 we started with the first projects with Italian, with Hungary. Then comes the first PEPAL project, and so on and so on. So what means we earned a lot of experience, and I think we can help you in this case of France. We are all in one single invoicing platform. I did not show you that here. This will be in single pre-sales meeting with customers, how it really looks like. We can do everything. We are flexible, adaptable for any changes by the governments and so on. And yeah, we run on-premise, cloud, and hybrid. So in general, in the normal way. So on-premise, it's not allowed for the France mandate because you must be a PDP, so it could only be in the cloud. And hybrid is also anything for Germany. There you can mix it when you do PEPAL. We are able to connect in all ERP systems, not only SAP, but 90% of our customer has an SAP system. And yeah, by the end, yeah, I am already forgetting it so slowly that there is some other electronic formats on the way as well. We are not only doing at SEEBURGER e-invoicing, we are doing EDI orders, everything. So let me see. I am done. I am in time. It's not so deep like in normal e-invoicing webcast. Time for your question.